so this is David's Sweets deck.
Okay, start off, we got running 3 of the Haru Global for Sweets. First effect, 500 for every other Sweets character. Second effect, for every Pendant of Promise in your opponent's memory, it gets another Global 500 to all Sweets characters. Running. Second, running 3 of the 3/5 Kosaki. When she comes into play, reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's not a Sweets character, you put that card in your clock. Next, currently running 3 of the Haru. When it comes into play, you may discard a card and look at up to the top 4 cards of your deck and add a Sweets character to your hand and put the rest in your waiting room. Next, 2 of the Kosaki. They come into play. You look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put them back in the same order. Second is it bonds for a 1/0 Haru that has Brainstorm ability. And next we have 3 of these Haru 2/5. Their effect is at the beginning of your opponent's attack step, you may move it to a empty slot facing an opposing character. And last for level 0, 2 Foos that bond for the 1/0 green Haru that climaxes with the bar trigger. And the other effect is a pay 1, discard 1, search your deck for a Sweets character. And that's it for the level 1 game, or level 0 game. For the level 1 game, running 3 of these Haru. They are 500 assist to the front, and Brainstorm, rest 2 characters for each climax. Search your deck for a Sweets character. And next we have 3 1/0 4/5 Harus. They get 500 for every Sweets character on the field. Every other Sweets character, sorry. Next, 3 of the 1 Haru, 1/0 Haru, 4/5. When you attack with the bar trigger, your opponent cannot play events until the end of their turn. And also, when it attacks, you can pay 1, give itself plus 3,000 power, and when it reverses a character, you can take a card from your clock, add it to hand, and put the top card of your clock into the top card of your deck into clock. And lastly, 2 of the new 1/0 Kosaki backups. The difference in this one is it has the Sweets trait compared to the old one having just a music trait, with this deck needing Sweets traits to go off a lot. And that's the end of the level 1. At level 2, running 2 of the 2/1 Kosaki level assist, which climaxes with the blue stock soul from the EB. When you play the blue stock soul, you may put her into the waiting room and play the level 3 Kosaki from your hand in its place. And next, 2 of the Angel in White Kosaki, that when it's placed on the field from your hand, if you have 5 or less cards in your deck, you may put the waiting room onto your deck and reshuffle it and then draw a card. The second effect doesn't get much use in the deck because you need to tap rest 2 key characters. And then 2 of the 2/1 Haru backups. Normally 2/5, but if you have a Sweets, it becomes a 3/5 backup. That's it for level 2. And for level 3, running 4 of the 3-2 Kosaki from the EB. When she attacks with the blue stock soul in play, if all your characters are sweets, you may search for a sweets character, add it to hand, and she gets 2/5 until the end of your opponent's turn. At the beginning of your opponent's draw phase, you may, if she's in the front row, you may give a character 4,000 power. And then 4 of the Haru 3-2. Her effect is when she's placed from hand to stage, you need to mill the top 3 cards. For 1 sweet character, she gets 3,000 power. For 2 sweets characters, she'll get a heal. And for the 3rd one, she'll get a clock kick ability. And then for climaxes, running 4 blue stock souls and 4 bar triggers. Alright, now how to play the deck. Start off, if you have a really bad hand, you can get some of these Harus that will let you filter your hand, get some characters maybe that you need for later game or for mid game even. It's really all around useful, so really good to get. Of course, the 3/5 character is always good to have. Make a wall to have. Level 0, just building up stock to hopefully get your level 1 game going. If you're really bad, you have this foo, you can either hold on to it to level 1 to get your level 1 Haru out, and use the climax combo to help get cards out of clock that you might need, or just, in case you don't have that Haru, you can just pay the 1, search for what you're looking for at the time. The runner here is really good if you want to prevent some on-reverse effects, or, if they have multiple characters, they have a character that gets a specific reverse effect from reversing your character. You can move it out of the way if they have more than one attacking character for the turn, or in some cases you can even play it in your back row to then run up to defend against damage. This global pendant, global to sweets, is good even if you don't play against a Nisekoi deck. It's still a global to all your sweets, so you can use it mainly in conjunction with your brainstormer in the back row to keep your characters a little bit more power, or in some cases have 2 of them in the back and make your runner into a 3/5 character that can be moved, or the 4/5 for the level 0 here. And then the Kosaki, you can help set up for your level 3 Haru. You can look at the top 2 cards, and if you see they're not sweets or climax, you can bond or use a brainstorm to get those out of the way. At level 1, you want to hopefully get at least 1 brainstormer into play, so you can help mill through your cards or get what you need, or get rid of XX damage. The 1-0 Haru is good to set up a wall if you have all your sweets characters and at least 2 supports in the back. So you could be up to a 7/5, and then to help defender, you could have this new sweets backup for another 1/5 to make her up to 9k, which makes it hard for some decks to get over. And then of course the Haru is really good for shutting down events, especially against certain decks that only use event counters. And if you need to get a specific card out of your clock, say one of the level 2 on Kosaki's for your level 2 game, so that you can possibly get the change with the climax off early. At level 2, it's really good if you can get the change going on with the Kosaki, because it will net you your extra hand size and then have a formidable wall on your opponent's turn, depending on how many of them you get out. You just have to be wary of anti-change or higher level backups. So you can decide, since it's a level 3, you could decide it'll be 3 soul before, if you use the blue stock soul correctly. Or you can choose to do it after you get the stock to do less damage if you want. And if you really need to, if you're level 2 before you run out of cards and you have enough, you can do a refresh for free and draw a card. Possibly get the climax or the level 2 if you don't already have it. And of course, backup's really nice for at level 2 for any level. And then at level 3, once you get these Kosakis out, they are a little bit hard to kill for your opponent to kill, becoming at least 14Ks. Most decks will have a little bit of trouble overcoming them. And even if they don't, if you have the climax combo out, there'll be a 12-5, and you can give it to, say, your 1-0 Haru if you have a field, make it a 11-5 if you have the full field and globals. And then the level 3 Haru, you want to try to, of course, getting that clock kick, but the heal is nice if you're not facing, of course, anti-heal decks. And that's about it, all I can say.
And that's it for the Sweets deck. It is from an EB, so there's not much other choices for alternatives to choose from. And yeah, except for maybe a 2-1 Haru that goes against level 3s. So
If you have all sweets.
if you have all sweets. So that's basically the only other cards. So yep.